All right, welcome back to another episode of RE Radar. I'm your host and realtor, Nathan Matheson, and today what we're going to be talking about is something that I think gets seriously misunderstood in real estate, and that is the winter market. Now, every year it comes around this time, and I start hearing the same thing from buyers and sellers. We'll just wait until spring to list, or there's no point in looking now, nothing good hits the market in the winter. And I get it. The days are shorter, it's cold, the holidays are coming up, and the last thing on most people's mind is to go out there and tour homes and write up contracts and buy a new house or get everything set to sell their house. That's the last thing on people's minds. Now, here's the thing though, that mindset of just, we'll wait until spring, it can cost you. It can cause people to miss out on opportunities that could be very beneficial for them. So today, what we're going to be busting is the idea of the winter market myth. And I'll be sharing why the next few months for you could be very impactful and could be one of the smarter times to buy or sell a home, especially given how 2025 has shaped up so far. Now, let's just start with a quick little pulse check of where we actually are here in the real estate market mid-November. Now, mortgage rates, what are they doing? That's what everyone wants to know always. And they are sitting about 6.3% when I recorded this episode last week. Mortgage rates, well, they change every day. So what are they today? Well, maybe they're 6.3%. Maybe they're a little lower. Maybe they're a hair higher. What we've seen so far in 2025, it seems, and recently are rates as low as around 6.1% they got down to, and as high as around 6.5% over the last couple months. Seemingly, I feel rates will be staying in that range for the time being. Now, inventory in real estate in Seattle has ticked up a bit compared to 2024 and really any other recent year for that matter. So there are some listings out there, and there are some listings also coming to market. But the new listings month to month, it's been quite up and down. It's been some months recently have been pretty darn good with a lot of new listings. Other months like August was a pretty bad one. And then to me, with the homes then being pretty high inventory wise, I think that signals to me maybe those homes that are sitting out there, the ones that are on the market and making it seem like there's a good amount of inventory, they're the ones that are a little less desirable. They're the townhomes. There's a lot of those in Seattle. They're the condos, which that market has really hit a roadblock and slowdown. So those homes might be out there sitting a little longer, making it seem like the inventory is pretty darn good because it is at one of the higher points it's ever been. Now, for serious buyers, though, this can present a unique opportunity. And that is the key, of course. And you have to be a serious buyer because the people who are still out there house hunting in November and December and January, they're not browsing for fun. They're out there relocating, they're upsizing, they're downsizing, they're making a serious life move. They're the ones that need to buy. And they're willing to move through the rain, through the snow, through the coldness of the winter, the wind, and all that to make it happen because they need to move. When I've been hosting open houses the past few weekends, some have been slow. Some, the good homes, have been still busy with lots of high activity. Now, something though that is different than other times of the year is the buyers coming through the open house. They're coming through, and more often than not, they are qualified, they are focused, and they're generally interested in that home. The folks that are going to open houses on the weekends here in the winter are less likely to just be casually browsing, casually looking for fun or just cuz. They are more likely to be the people actually out there looking and serious about buying a home. And that attitude can then give these buyers an advantage because I do feel there is a natural winter advantage for buyers. Everyone loves to shop for a home when the market's hot. They love to have all these options. They love to see, 10 new listings a day coming out. So they're getting these homes and seeing a lot of different things. People love that, they're high activity, lots of things going on. But then again, remember that might not be beneficial to you because you're also going to be competing with all those other people out there. And there's all these other people with that exact same mindset as you, in that we're going to wait till the spring and then we're going to go out and buy a home. Well, yeah, everyone says that, right? So everyone's out there buying a home, more competition, more offers. Homes are going above list price because of that, because there's more activity around them. There's more stuff going around. There's more people. There's more everything happening in the spring. Nice weather. Everything's going great. Sunshine and buttercup season, as we say here. So that's going on. And that might be hurting you as a buyer versus winter. It's a totally different vibe. There's less competition, which means, of course, you can breathe. You can actually tour homes without 5 other buyers waiting outside. You can negotiate with the seller a little more back and forth maybe. You can ask for an inspection, repair, or closing credit if something is wrong. Things that essentially could disappear when the market gets crazy hot are available for you in the winter months. And because there's fewer buyers out there, some of those sellers who listed earlier in the year, they might now be more willing to adjust their price as we get into the winter in hopes of making a deal happen. It's not necessarily desperation on the seller's part. It's just them being more realistic about where we are in the real estate market 2025 and a year. They want to move forward before the holidays or before the new year hits. So this gives buyers opportunity. That is opportunity that a lot of people might overlook who just skip over to the spring market. Another key component to note that I think probably often gets forgotten about is service availability. Inspectors, movers, lenders, they all could be a little more available in the winter because of this slowdown, less backlog of buyers and clients who they're helping out with. So it could be a faster turnaround time because the demand is slightly lighter. And then, of course, there's this in that if you buy now, well, you can always refinance later. People seem to forget about that, or they don't acknowledge that per se. In, well, if rates drop significantly in a year, you can get that rate. You can refinance, but you'll have already had your home locked in, the one you love, the one you fell in love in, at that lower price than what you would see it at come springtime when the market starts heating up, because, well, prices go up then. And when the rates drop, prices go up. Demand will pop right back up. Everyone's going to be out there and prices go right up as well. Everything goes up. It makes sense if you think about it. So I always tell my buyers to, don't think of winter as the off season. Think of it as kind of the strategic season for you to pick and choose and be thoughtful with your buying process. Now, for sellers, it could also have some benefits, because I know what you're thinking. Listing your home in the winter, it sounds like the last thing you would want to do. You're thinking nobody is out there looking right now, or it's not going to show well. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's sad outside. Why would I sell my home here? It's not going to display well for people. But here's the truth. A key component, really the key component, is less competition. Just like the buyers, everyone is out there waiting for the spring. Your listing will get out there and it will stand out. In April, you might be one of 30 new listings hitting the market in that area that week. Well, in December, you might be one of 5. So which do you think is going to get more attention? If your home comes out with 30 others, or if there's just 5 out there? I think the winner might be beneficial. And so for buyers who are out there then, like I just touched on, they are serious. They're relocating for work, moving to be closer to family, or they've just been waiting for a long time and now your house is the right fit for them. They're going to make that move. These are the folks who need to buy. And so you also might see a faster closing time in winter, perhaps, with a lot of buyers or sellers. They might be trying to get things wrapped up before the holidays exactly hit, before tax season. So transactions, maybe you can get a quicker close time. And don't forget, if a home is actually done well, it can still really show well in the wintertime. You got to have that warm lighting, that cozy atmosphere inside. You want a buyer to walk in there and feel like this is the home where they would want to spend the holidays next year. So I've seen sellers who they use that cozy emotional appeal, and homes can actually really show well in the winter. You could walk into a home and it feels really well, even in that December time. So if you're going to be playing that winter market, whether you're buying or you're selling, there are a few strategic moves that I would recommend you do. For a buyer, of course, this is anytime. You're going to want to get pre approved. Don't wait until the week you find that home that you fall in love with because, well, maybe a lender's on a holiday then, or maybe something's happened, or it just takes a little longer to get pre approved, or just the fact that you're not pre approved when you see that home could screw you in the end. So having that pre-approval in hand is key. In the winter is key every month. Have a pre-approval before you go shopping for a home. Another point to make is do not ignore the older listing. A home that's sitting on the market, maybe it just needs a small price tweak. So make an offer, write an offer with a lower price, and maybe it'll happen. And that's where the best deals for a buyer could often happen with a home that's been sitting on the market for a little while and just needed a fresh set of eyes to look at it. Just needed a little price cut that the seller didn't advertise essentially. So make that in your offer. And just negotiate with confidence in the winter as a buyer. Ask for closing costs, ask for repair credits or extended timelines if you need it. This season can give you leverage that a spring buyer might not have. So if you're a buyer, use it. For sellers now, focus on lighting. Lighting is key for both the photos because, well, every buyer we know looks at a home first online. So first impressions are key. They're also key in person, of course. Get that lighting on par. Shorter days are going to mean you've got to create that brighter, welcoming atmosphere artificially. Now, keep it clean, of course. Always keep a listing clean, decluttered. And also keep it warm though in the winter here. Well staged home in December feels like comfort. And guess what? Comfort sells homes. You're also going to, as a seller, want to price realistic. Understand the market we're in. You don't need to discount your home dramatically per se, but price it with precision. Price it at its value. What is this home worth in the winter? The goal isn't going to be to wait a bunch of months to sell this home. You're obviously going to want to sell it quickly, so price with precision. And then honestly, also mindset, it just matters here. Winter is not a lull, it's a filter. It filters out the noise. It leaves you with the people that are serious about making a move. So if you're out there and someone tells you, why the heck are you looking for a home right now in the winter? Market's dead this time of year. You just got to think to yourself, well, winter is when the smart strategic moves get made. It's where the deals can happen, the discounts for the buyers. It's where a seller with a home that's a little different can make it shine more and get the eyeballs on it that's needed to sell for spring, where it gets crowded with all these other homes and pushed to the back. Now it's quieter for sure out there in the winter, but quieter doesn't always mean weaker. In this case, it can mean focused. The real people are out there. So if you're a buyer, this could be your window to find that great home without the frenzy of all the activity. If you're a seller, this can be that moment for your home to stand out and be out there with less competition. So as we head into 2026, I think we'll see more and more people realize that, and that the opportunity doesn't always come when the sun's out. Sometimes that perfect home for you and your family are just hiding in the rain. Alrighty, now that wraps up all the time I've got for today's episode. So if you found this helpful, make sure to share it with someone who's been on the fence about buying or selling. As always, if you want to talk through your own situation, because every situation in real estate is different, I'd be happy to talk strategy. So reach out anytime, happy to help. Once again, I'm your host and realtor, Nathan Matheson. Thank you for tuning in. Stay classy out there, and I'll catch you next week. Till next time, peace.